You are listening to the Free Spirit Astrology Podcast. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Free Spirit Astrology Podcast. I am your host, Brandy Williams. Happy New Year. I'm not going to be before y'all long today. I just wanted to drop in and tell you a few things, tell you about the few transits that we have, but we do have a full moon, so I definitely wanted to drop in and just give a little insight about that going into this new year. So let's just go ahead and get started because I got a few announcements to talk about at the end. Tuesday, December 30th, Mercury in Sagittarius is going to make a square to Saturn in Pisces at 26 degrees. So over the past several weeks, all of the personal planets have been coming into this checkpoint with Saturn and Neptune, kind of giving us a preview of what's going to happen in 2026. So a few weeks ago, we had the Sun, square Saturn and Neptune, Venus, Mars, and now it's Mercury's turn. Saturn is that principle of authority. It has a restrictive nature. It tends to delay. It doesn't necessarily deny. It denies instant gratification. It tends to block things because it wants to make sure that you're doing something tried and true and not taking any shortcuts. And it tends to depress things or slow things down. And so Mercury deals with the mind, communication, friends, transactions, transportation, things like that, things that we learn and want to talk about. So there's likely to be some depressed or rigid thinking this week. We could feel like we're seriously concentrating on something. There could be delayed transactions that fall through, not knowing where we're going to get the money for a certain thing. Money we thought was going to hit is not hitting for some reason, or something just falls through, which can definitely leading to us not feeling good about ourselves, not feeling locked in, feeling like I'll never get this right, or maybe this is not going to be a successful thing to do. I need to quit. A lot of discouraging thoughts and just, really not feeling like it. So kind of like the past few weeks, we could not feel like it. We don't really feel like talking. Some of us don't feel like going anywhere. I don't want to go to the New Year's Eve celebration. What am I celebrating? I don't know what's going to happen with this certain situation that's really important to me. I don't really feel like being festive. Some of us just really feel like quitting, just giving up, like whatever, what am I even doing this for? And I want to let you know that feeling is going to pass. Those thoughts are going to pass. This is not a very long acting transit. You are not failing. You are locked in. You shouldn't quit. None of those thoughts are true. None of them are a fact. But what's happening with a lot of us is I think we could be focusing on the wrong things. So Saturn is here not to deny you or like block you or make sure that you fail. Saturn's reality testing something to make sure we're doing something right. Are we focusing on the right things? Are we focused on the process as much as the gains? Because something in the process likely needs an adjustment. And if we're concentrating on the end goal more than we are the process and even the satisfaction of creating something, especially if it's pertaining to something that we value and we truly appreciate and we love, the mind will hit a block. And that block is designed for you to hold up and scale back so that you can, first off, be in the present moment and not think about the reward as much as the process, and also think about who you're serving. What are you doing this for? Remember, when we go into 2026, we want to be attached to a very profound why, because some of these structures just to get and gain things are not really going to sustain. We're building something that we feel proud of that's really authentically ours. We could also feel like, yeah, fuck all that. Thoughts could feel heavy. We could feel less likely to talk. Some of us could feel like we want to isolate and just really be in our own energy as we sort some things out. Totally not a bad idea. Not necessarily isolate, but take some time to stop, because when we override and we try to still crack at something, we tend to still miss the mark. Sometimes the answer is in a walk or in a nap. Let your creative brain be inspired by something and not keep hitting something on the head. This could also be people feeling a certain type of way because other people don't feel like socializing, or maybe somebody backed out. Maybe somebody's tired or depressed, or they just not feeling it. And some of us could feel over the past few weeks like we're constantly being rejected or ghosted or mentally cut off from other people who could be going through these things over and over. And we want to try not to take things personally and to center ourselves around another person's actions. Yeah, because maybe somebody just don't want to go to the club this week. They don't feel like celebrating. As we get older, it's kind of harder to be like, forget that, I'm just going to party it away. No, tomorrow still happens, and we still have to think about how we're going to make some things work. And we just want to be sensitive to the processes of other people. Everybody doesn't deal with things the same way. If you are my depressed friend and a friend who's feeling blocked that is listening right now, please be a good friend to yourself and honor your own capacity and don't override that. Go lay down, take a walk, pause from what you're trying to accomplish and come back to it when you feel refilled. Be a really good friend to yourself, like you're a good friend to so many other people. Let the surrender inspire you in your next creative step to make some really dope shit happen. There's a lot of good things that come in the pause. Then January 1st, 2026, happy freaking New Year. It's gonna be like kicking off with a bang. Mercury in Sagittarius is at the 29th degree, squaring Neptune in Pisces. First and foremost, quite frankly, it's going to be some drunk people out there. People are going to be drinking. But this is a very not good time to drink too much, not good time to smoke too much. If you do drugs, I really caution you not to do drugs anyway. But it's your life and your own free will. If you're gonna do drugs, if you're gonna smoke, if you're gonna drink, I caution you to not overdo it, because Neptune makes us susceptible to being increasingly intoxicated and over the influence. And there's a lot of negative reactions that happens when we participate in mind altering substances, when the mind is in a tense aspect to Neptune. So the likelihood of getting extra fucked up and super sick is heightened. The flu is going around like fucking crazy. First off, like the flu is just going around super, super crazy. So we want to be careful. We might need to mask up. Be careful with your babies touching other kids, because people are getting sick really quickly and it's just spreading a lot. So we want to be careful about that. Neptune is also associated with illness and sickness and stuff. Mercury is also transportation. Squaring Neptune, guys, Uber is your friend. Please do not drink, drug, and drive. Don't get in the car with nobody drinking and drugging. And if you are on the road on New Year's Eve, which, I just, please, like, get to a place and low-key stay there. Just drive for everyone. Be careful when you go through the red lights. Be careful. Look around on the highways. Don't drive drunk, please. There's so many accidents that tend to happen on New Year's Eve and at that 2 o'clock time, New Year's Day. And it's just better to be somewhere safe than to be out and in a situation on the first day of the year. Intoxicated accidents are way more likely to happen when Mercury is squaring Neptune. Please, everybody, be careful. Drink responsibly. Don't do drugs. This could also indicate you just not feeling like it, but you might be in a sticky spot where you feel uncertain. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say yes to. Should I go? Should I not? You're on the fence about something. And that could bring overwhelm and anxiety, which tends to happen when Mercury squares Neptune because it clouds the brain and brings confusion. This is a good time to pause and stop and remember all that you've worked on as far as your own boundaries and your priorities. What would your future self do? What will my future self do? I have a meditation. I have another one coming out directly after I post this podcast. So check out 1 and 2. Let your intuition speak to you. Sometimes we're so quick to agree to something that we really don't want to do, and we have to face the consequences later. You don't have to answer a person automatically. You get to pause. Even when it comes to yourself, you get to pause. And with all of these boundaries and all of these pausings and prioritizing self, there's going to be some misunderstandings. There's bound to be, flat out, misunderstandings, too many boundaries being placed. You're doing too much self-prioritizing. Like, this new you who we have to consult with self. I don't like that. I'm used to you doing what I want you to do when I want you to do it. People don't like that. And I can smell the guilt trips, manipulation. Some of us are going to give in. Totally fine. That's totally fine. However, resentment does follow when you tend to do things you don't want to do. And it could be intensified. Own your shit when you say yes to things you don't want to do. Nobody's making you do it. Even if they're guilt tripping you, you still have a decision to make. You want to own it, because Neptune and Mercury brings the deceptions, the delusions, the victim stories, the martyr stories, and the lies. Those are the usual suspects of the shadow side of a Neptune transit, especially with our personal planets. So we want to avoid speaking from uncertainty or assumption. Like I tell y'all, with all the Neptune transits over the past month, every time it hits a personal planet, there's three sides to a story. There's that person's side, the other person's side, and what actually happened when it hadn't gone through the filter of your own perspective and your perceptions of the world. So we want to be careful what we believe, even if it's coming out of our own mouths. Avoid being deceived, even if it's our own thoughts. Know a lie when you hear one, even if it's coming out of your own brain. Like, learn how to say that's a lie, that didn't actually happen, or at least question it. Also, audio record your dreams this week. Mercury square Neptune can bring creative tension, creative solutions that come out of tense situations, lots of answers in dreams, and those downloads that happen in the shower or when you're taking a walk or sometimes when you're exercising. Some of us get a lot of downloads then. So keep something handy for you to write those things down or audio record it. There's a lot of gems in that. And then by January 3rd, we're going to have our full moon in Cancer. This is the first lunation of the year. Full moons always bring culminations, revelations, or endings, or just something comes to, full circle, fruits from a previous new moon's seeding. So we have the sun in Capricorn. The sun is tightly conjoined with Venus and Mars, all in Capricorn. Mars is in its exaltation. We have the moon on the other side in Cancer. She's in her own home, so she's strong. She's co-present with Jupiter, who's in Cancer, retrograde currently, but still a very, very positive aspect because Jupiter is exalted in Cancer. We got a lot of heavy hitters and a lot of powerhouses on the table. So with all of this strength, there could be some clashes. There could be a lot of CEOs, not enough subordinates. And there could finally be a time where we kind of boss up. Some of us are like, you know what, I've had this shit. Enough is enough. Tired of walking on eggshells. I'm realizing a lot of feelings that are starting to come up. I'm tired of one-sided situations. I'm tired of somebody making everything about them, not considering me. Why does so-and-so decline to hang out with me, but go hang out with other people? I'm starting to notice like something's real funny with how certain people are acting. People are moving weird, and just realizing some things about the people I'm in connections to. Why does the family invite this person and not me? Family dynamics are coming up with this Cancer energy. Jupiter in Cancer is teaching us wisdom through past experiences and family dynamics, how to prioritize our own safety. We could also be thinking about, why do I get offended when people tell me no? What am I expecting of others? Would I do the same? Would I do or react the same way to a situation that I impose on another person? Like if somebody says something to me, how would I feel? And do I often find myself saying those things to other people? So this is about mutual respect and honoring other people's boundaries. There's going to likely be several questions and thoughts around transactional relationships, power dynamics in relationships, even with family, how we overextend ourselves, how we ask other people to kind of bend for us, who feels like a safe space, who's being inconsiderate, who's the drama, who feels like you got to just be careful what you say or how you even breathe when you're around certain people. We're getting tired of that shit. We feel in a certain type of way and we don't want that anymore. And we want to ask ourselves, do we make other people feel like that? Are we constantly nitpicking? Are we guilt tripping other people in families, in friends? Like, are we a safe space to be around? Maybe they didn't want to go out with us because we're not safe. Maybe we the drama. Am I the drama? Do I be throwing shade? Do I act like everything needs to be surrounded or centered around me? Be really honest. This is going to be a full moon green pill reality check. Like, take the green pill and keep it real with yourself and be accountable. Capricorn is an energy about knowing how to be responsible and be accountable and holding your own shit. We also want to start the year thinking about balanced interactions, what it means to be in balanced, mutual, reciprocal relationships, and how to make sure that we are making mutually beneficial partnerships and even saying yes to things that benefit us just like it benefits other people. The correct assignment and ownership of responsibilities and accountability. What's mine? What's yours? What's not mine to carry? Vice versa. Because in a healthy dynamic, each individual must be independent. That's what this Mars in Capricorn is about. Mars and Venus are relationship dynamics. It's the sacred masculine and the divine feminine. Mars is how we come here to be independent, individuate ourselves, know what we want, know what we need, know what our ambitions are, what are our motives. And I know what that looks like apart from anybody else. I'm my own individual self. And Venus is how we come together and harmonize. So I'm my own individual self. In relationship, I'm still free to be my own individual self. And together, there's synergy. Together, we come together and we make something greater. But we're two individuals who are whole and independent. And when we get together, we are so great, right? We know how to hold our own shit. We know how to be our own best mate. But together, it's like art. It's like magic. I add to you, you add to me. But I do not complete or fix you, and you do not complete or fix me. Nor am I responsible for your happiness, nor are you responsible for mine. We are simply in a connection to enhance one another. We don't take away from each other. We know how to hold on shit, pretty much. That's what it feels like to have a mutually beneficial, healthy relationship. Nobody ain't coming to save nobody else. It's a good week to journal on the full moon about who is giving you that type of independence, freedom, and love these days. Are you giving that type of freedom and love to other people? And whatever comes up is to just be taken note of. There's nothing to do about it right now. There's no fixing, no cutting people off. Just be everything you want for you, and you will see everything unaligned from that just fall away. And we want to have the courage to let it. That's all for this week. Happy New Year, everyone. I would love to invite you to listen to the Future Self meditation that is up on the channel. Wherever you listen to this podcast, you'll see that I have 2 that are out currently. The second one is coming out as soon as this podcast is also released. So, yeah, listen to that. Really envision who you are becoming. We're all becoming, we're all on our journeys and on our paths. And if you want to know how this astrology of 2026 is affecting you personally, how it's playing out in your life personally, I invite you to click the link in the show notes to receive a 2026 quarter 1 reading. It's really good to know if you want to know exactly how this is all unfolding for you personally this year. But other than that, I look forward to hearing about what comes up in your future meditation. Send me an email, text me if you have my number. Tell me what you see when you do the meditations. I'm so excited to hear what comes up. Yeah, Happy New Year, guys. See y'all all next year. Bye. You are listening to the Free Spirit Astrology Podcast.